Well, welcome to the playoff action here. Welcome to Tobago. Welcome to Roxborough. We're here this afternoon for just one game, and that is the playoff to get into the finals. And we're going to see the Rainforest Rangers, who you are seeing on your screen right now. They're coming up against the Little Tobago Islanders. Little Tobago Islanders, they finished second, and the Rainforest finished third. Obviously, winning is the Buko Divers, and they're into the finals. Whoever wins here tonight, they go into that finals tomorrow. And before we get into the thick of things, Sheldon Rooks was at the wicket for the pitch report.
Venue, a little bit of dead grass, but rolled in nicely, nice and flat. A little bit dark. The covers have been on for probably a little bit too long. It would have been nice for them to have taken the covers off just that little bit earlier and give it a bit of air. Bit of sunlight, the sun going down, might dry it out in the next 10 or 15 minutes. We'll look forward to a nice track tonight, plenty of runs.
Well, good old Sheldon Rooks there at the toss, at the pitch report. And he has now joined me in the commentary booth. Sheldon, we're expecting this pitch, as you rightly said, to play a bit like yesterday.
Yeah, it's given a little bit for the spinners now as we come to the back end of the competition. And I think that has more to do with the bounce. If you put it in the right areas, it just troubles the batsmen. They're slightly unsure as to whether to be forward or to go back. And I'm not saying that it's inconsistent bounce. It just hasn't settled. You're never too sure about where to go. For me, I like to be on the front foot, especially to the spinners. A little bit different when the seamers come on. One or two of them can get it to lift a bit. Jerron Alfred, Navian Stewart, and we're going to see Stewart tonight. No doubt, but apart from those two, really, you're fairly safe on the front foot.
Yes, definitely so. And of course, we're leading up to the finals tomorrow, but there's an all-star game that comes up before that finals. Tell us a bit about that, Sheldon. I know you're a man in the know.
I was just going to say, I wish you could tell me about it, because we haven't had the selection yet, because Ansel Dennis, the Chief Secretary, he's selected a few top names. We do have some names. I'm sure you're going to let the viewers know at home who those big names are. But as to the rest of the makeup, we're not sure. And as to who the opposition is going to be, I think it's going to be a selection of players as opposed to whomsoever wins the final. I think that they're going to have a selection of players.
I think it's going to be a Tobago all-star team. So that team, and understandably so, cannot be selected at this point in time, because of the fact that they will wait to see which of either of these two teams are not in the finals, because they may also use players from the team that is not in the finals. So at the moment, we'll have to await that. But I can tell you this, from Trinidad and Tobago, you will have Kyron Pollard, the West Indies captain, and today we learned that he's now the captain of the TKR. Dwayne Bravo has been demoted to the vice captaincy of the TKR. He'll be here as well. They're flying in tomorrow for a press conference at 11 before coming up here for the action in the afternoon. And added to that duo is Sunil Narain and Nicholas Puran.
Well, when you just mentioned the first two names, I thought, yeah, game on, because two isn't going to do it. But now that you've mentioned the four, that is, a huge task. Even if these guys have been out here every day playing cricket for the last 5 days, and some of them are really getting used to it. The ground fielding is going to be good. We're not going to have, the kind of drop catches that we saw and everything. You're going to pick the best 11 players that Tobago have got to offer. I think it's going to be competitive, but with the four that you just mentioned, even if the Chief Sec has got a few, friends on board who a FET match cricketers, those four are going to do the business.
Well, the Chief Sec is here again today. Ansel Dennis is in a net. Actually, he's in a net at the moment. He's having a knock. He came yesterday as well to have a knock. He's trying to get himself fit and ready. He's a back of the arm, left arm, spin arm tool, and he played for Trinidad and Tobago at the representative level.
Yeah, you see, we're not talking about non-cricketers here. These are people who've played cricket. If Ansel Dennis was someone who just liked a knockabout on a Sunday or something, that would be one thing. But he's a genuine cricketer. He's played cricket at a very, very good level, and I think added together with his 4 ringers, if you like, I think it's going to be a really, really good game. Interesting to see who is going to be on the Tobago All-Stars 11. I think we've got a few names where we mentioned Navin Stewart and Jaron Alfred. The rest of the makeup of the team, well, that has yet to be decided. And even though the losing skipper from the Forest Rangers, he might still get a look in. They may want to have Joshua James, and why wouldn't you? Just represented the West Indies at under 19 level. So yeah, we've got 3 or 4 names already on there. Tonight, by the way, may add more names to that list. You've got a couple of youngsters in there who, if they perform tonight, would be nice to see along. I know Jaden Kent is only 13 years old, an incredible 13 years old, but really beginning to look like a useful cricketer at under 15 level. Here, this is a big ask for him to be playing with men. And the other one is Josh Telemark, whose shape with the ball has been good, but looking good batting as well. Anyway, we're about to get underway. It'll be the Rangers to take first knock. Navin Stewart is walking out to the crease with Davril McPherson, and
Yes.
here is Vinod Mamchan.
Thanks a lot, Sheldon. And Navin Gonzalo Stewart is walking out there, and he is the man to lead the fight to Little Tobago Islanders. If he takes up the battle tonight and makes a big score, you're almost assured that he can take his team to the finals. I had a discussion with him last night, and he told me that today he's fasting for 24 hours. He does this intermittent fasting. He said that he wants the body empty to explode this evening, and his hope is that he's going to bat through all 10 overs. We'll wait to see.
There are 11 men out there who are hoping that he doesn't explode, because if he does, they're going to be running to all parts of the park. We've got such a nice lineup now. As you get further and further into the competition, you get to know the players a little bit better. You know their capabilities, and you begin to, warm to them, I suppose. Right down at the boundary here, looking to be put in the right spot. Simmons Peters a little off to his left is Ronaldo Lazama, who got hold of Josh Telemark last night and sent him to all parts. So just a few personalities beginning to bubble up now.
Yes, and it's the back end of the tournament. This is a straight knockout. Whoever wins here goes on to play the Boca Reef Divers in the finals. And the Boca Reef Divers, they had one turned against them last night from the Cellar Proppers. And that's Fort King George Gunners. So they ended with a win. So they had 4 points from their 6 matches.
I had a chance to chat with the umpires just before they went out, and the third umpire. What I said was that there was a great deal of talk around about the batting and the bowling and some of the ground fielding, but we haven't had any complaints, to be honest, about the officiating. I'm really pleased about that.
No, it has been pretty good. Short drives into cover. There is no run. So the first delivery, pitched up. And the short just leaning forward and driving.
Yeah, Glennon Sharp just throwing down that first one. The footing is going to be a little bit tricky, I'd imagine. The covers they weren't taken off until about half an hour before the start.
Sam, that's a slow delivery just outside the off stump, and Stewart just prodding at that.
Yeah, fix it. Sharp it is, who has the ball now. Let's look at the skipper, Leron Lezama. Sharp comes in for his next delivery and he bowls, and Stewart goes back and punches that down to the ground. I think that just highlights what I was talking about earlier on. That's a back foot punch down the ground that he hit towards the bottom of the bat, and had he been on that front foot, he'd have been driving that. I suppose it's what you're brought up on, pitches and what you get used to. And when you see that length here in the Caribbean, you instinctively go back. Here's Sharp again. And McPherson gets that off the legs. It goes down to the fine leg area. It's pulled in. And they come back 4-2.
Come on. How good? Work it right. Work it. How good?
Sharp has got the ball back in hand now, ready for the next delivery. 3 for no wicket, first over. Sharp just signalling to the wicketkeeper. Not sure if that's some kind of trick ball coming up here.
This time it's out.
Yeah, good catch, well held.
So McPherson that's coming forward and leaning into the shot. He didn't control it, and he's out caught at mid-wicket, and they have struck the Rangers, losing their first wicket. As Islanders, they celebrate out there. It's 3 for 1.
Well, we've been saying all along that at some stage someone has to step up and stay with Stewart. It's just the pattern of the games that we see repeating game after game. No one can stay with him. He's out in the middle trying to push the team forward, push the score along, and it really needs someone to come in there with 25 or 30 to supplement what he does, and then the rest of the batsmen can chip in with a little 5 or 10 here. All of that will take you up to 90, even 100. But if you pull Stewart from the equation, all of a sudden the chasm opens up, and you've got the feeling that they're about to fall into it.
So this is an important partnership here, Samuels and Stewart. Samuel's taking his card now.
He would really have liked to have been coming in the 3rd or the 4th over with 25 or 30 on the board. That hasn't happened.
That's a good delivery, right on spot. So it's the end of a good first over, 3 for 1.
Yeah, it is actually. Islanders will be perfectly happy with that. They've got the dangerous Davril out cheaply. There's only 3 on the board, and they haven't had to bowl to Stewart for 4 or 5 balls. When it could have been, well, you could have had 24 or 25 on the board if you'd had to, if he'd got going. So they'll have come out of that first over perfectly happy.
So we're at the Cyd Gray Sporting Complex here in Roxborough. This all-important game, and I think given the nature of the track, the score of 85 could be handy.
Yeah, I think if the Rangers were able to post 85, I think they would be happy with that. I think the Islanders have faced to chase down 72 or 75 or something like that in the past. Maybe they could also be looking at the final, because they beat this team last night, didn't they? So they might be looking ahead instead of trying to cope with this game. That's a dangerous position to be in. I think this is Stewart bowling to Stewart, isn't it?
But his back looking to pull this down the leg side, and it's signaled wide by the umpire. I think his eyes would have lit up seeing that.
Yeah, it just unusually for Navy, and he wasn't quite in position for that, and I think that had something to do with his eyes being lit up so wide, thinking, "Are you serious?" And then it was past him. The one Stewart getting away, Joshua Stewart getting away with one down the leg side, because he really should have gone for more there.
So he opens his stand a bit there, Nathan, and that is the reason why he was getting difficulties to play that. To face the left-arm seamer coming over the wicket to him, he just opened his stance a bit, just to have a better sighter of him. And then he was looking to play that one through the offside away from his body, and it just continued with the anger. So he was not able to make contact. He just needs to temper himself here, because as he said when I spoke to him last night, his intention is to bat out the 10. If he bats out the 10, they will have a competitive score.
Well, this time Stewart does get hold of it, and having gone there once and gotten away with it, you have to pull yourself back and say, I'm not putting it there again. I dodged that bullet. I've seen what could have happened. Don't put it there again. 2 balls later, same place, different result, big shot.
Yes, and that was a bullet that he couldn't dodge. He put it just on the legs of Stewart, who seems to be enjoying the music and the moment, and he just helped it around the corner. I don't think he hit that very hard. He just basically helped it. Let's wait and see what happens here now. Here's Stewart to short. Joshua is in again down the leg side, and the umpire is going to spread those arms of his and signal wide.
Right, Joshua Stewart is now in a place that he really doesn't want to be. He hasn't found his line. He's already given away one boundary, and all this does is to give Stewart a sighter of the ball, a feel for the pitch. You know, an opening batsman likes to get out there, have a few balls that he doesn't have to play. He can leave a few alone, and then he's going to start getting bat on ball.
This time that's a good delivery, just back off a length. Stewart equal to it, pushed it on the offside. So 9 in the over so far, so he's not going to take unnecessary risk. You see, he's caught in a catch-22 position where he needs to bat out the innings or bat deep into the innings, but also he's the man to make the run, to go after quick runs. Samuel is not going to do it. He's going to give him the strike, which is also important.
And as long as he stays around, Stewart will then decide which of the bowlers that he's going to pick off. That's the key.
So here he is. That's a good delivery. He's back and just does what he does best. Play it away around the corner for one. And it's a good partnership, Stewart and Samuel. These two will be looking to take their team to the final. Nevin Stewart with a youthful squad. You told me that he mounted a very youthful team, and that youthful team, of course, included a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. Care to elaborate?
I will after this ball from Joshua Stewart.
Stewart gets one more, so 11 in the over now. I think that has brought the over to an end, has it?
It has indeed.
At the end of 2, the score is 14 for the loss of 1.
Vishan is sitting close to us, and I like to include my friend Vishan in these things. That was the best possible situation for Stewart to be in. There's another ball, by the way. I thought that was the end of the over. That's the
last time I'm going to listen to you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I was warned.
We forgot how many wides he'd bowled.
When I hit the shores here, I was warned not to believe you, and I went against advice. That's 1. So the score is 15 for 1. I dare say that's the end of the over.
Now this is the end of the over. So I'll come back with Vishan, who's sitting in with us here. The previous situation was exactly what Stewart wanted. He was going to be on strike for the last ball of the over, because the options for him were 1, he keeps the strike. 2, they run 2, he doesn't mind 2. 3 is even better, because they get 3 runs and he's on strike. 4, they get the boundary ball at a maximum 6. So there was one thing in there that he didn't want to, really didn't want to get, which was the 2. All the other options were open for him, but with Samuel being on strike on the last one and he takes the single, kind of the thing that he really didn't want. Anyway,
so the score is 15 for 1 at the moment. Samuel drives nicely. That's a beautiful shot through the offside. Will it get into the boundary? No, it's picked up just before it crosses, and they come back for 2. So the score goes on now to 17 for 1.
Right, so now what we can look at is as we begin looking at the balls that have gone, he took a single off that one, he's taken 2 off that one, and now it just begins, Nathan can just step back and say, well, okay, if every time the ball comes to you, you keep hitting it for runs, I'm okay with that, because I'm still in.
This time you can see an attempt at a slow delivery, gets it full, and of course another single. So that's intelligent batting.
Yeah, and that's okay, because what it does is, first of all, it's the longest throw to get Navin out, so that's the harder throw. So you're going to go at the non-striker's end. Well, Samuel set off early, so he's going to be in. There's no out there, and now there's 3 balls, 4 runs. Now that makes it that little bit easier for Navin Stewart. He can look around, he can pick the gaps in the field here, and he can decide whether it's going to be, go big, look for that big, the maximum or a boundary, or knock it around.
Very sharp. Pulls out of the run.
And a quick look at the scoreboard here for me is really important. 18 for 1, 2 overs.
Stewart measured in his approach thus far.
Yeah, he's been talking about batting for longer, not just rattling up the runs, but batting for longer. If the wickets are falling at the other end, but people are scoring, 5, 10 or 15, he doesn't mind that.
Sammy tries a full toss, that's 4 runs. He didn't get too overexcited, he picked his spot, and that's 4. 22 for 1.
And what were we saying when Daverill McPherson went out? It would have Samuel would have liked to have come in the 3rd over with 25 or 30 on the board. The 3rd over is going to come, and they're 22 for 1. So they've been able to pull it back. In the beginning, it looked bad for Samuel to be walking out there, but very, very quickly things can change.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot, and it goes for 6 through the hands of the fielder, and that could prove to be a costly miss. That could prove to be the match if Navin Stewart carries on here. So I think he got into position and then slipped, and he parried it over the boundary for 6.
Yeah, if you can get your hands to it and you're still in bounds, that's a drop. Of course, if you catch it and your feet are over, then all right, that's going to be 6 anyway. But there's the maximum that he was looking for. Everything else here is a bonus.
So Stewart getting into the swing of things, so to speak.
29 for 1, 2nd over. We're going to come to that 3 overs, 30 runs that we were talking about in the beginning. Here's Glenn Sharp again.
Sam again, he flicks it away, down behind square, it's running away. They take 1, they think about 2. After a slight stutter, they came through, so that's 2 more.
Samuel puts his hands up because he was the one who stuttered. No hesitation from Stewart. He was straight back. He wants to be on strike, and Samuel's got to be aware of that. $31 for 1. Last ball of the over from Sharp.
So it's a mighty hit. Nevin Gonzalo Stewart, he's starting to warm up now. That's 6 runs. It was in the slot, and he went for it.
I love to see Navin playing off the front foot.
Yes, well, I'm feeling a drop or 2 on my back. I wonder what is that. Davis in, and this is in the air. He could be in problems here. He should be out court. Yes, he is. He got underneath that one. It was an unnecessary shot because what he could have done is look to give Nevin Stewart the strike, which has been working perfectly. He's a senior man in the setup. Samuel, he got underneath that. It was outside the off stump, and his head was in the air, and so did the ball follow.
If you're at home listening on Cricket 360, you'll have heard what we were saying. Unfortunate that Samuel is not listening to Cricket 360.
He should.
He wouldn't be doing that. There's no need for it.
He should immediately log on to listen to the expert views of Sheldon Rooks and Vishan Lalman.
Coming to the crease now is the 14-year-old schoolboy from Bishops in Scarborough, Josh Telemark. He's in the same class as a friend's daughter, and we were giving him a little bit of ribbing earlier on.
I was a bit worried.
About
I thought
who his
you
classmate may be.
Nah, I thought you were going to say he was in the same class with you.
That's a nice young lad, by the way. Got a good head on his shoulders, and Stewart has invested his trust in a couple of youngsters here, and he's in with one of them now. He put on some runs last night, didn't he?
Yep.
I can't remember who it was that he spanked for 6. There. It will come to me. Here's Davis again.
This time he's back and hitting it straight down the ground. As straight as an arrow. He gets one. Was it Kent?
Jaden Kent was one of the boys in with him last night. They're on that same side. I think... was it Daniel that he hit last night? Just trying to think.
Yes, it was
Daniel.
Daniel.
Maybe.
Yes.
Sent him for 1 or 2 because he's a big guy. By the way, that last throw that was the throw that just came in there was from Simmons Peters, who it was that caught that last one. You know, you can begin to add up how many wickets how many catches he's held on to. These are so important. Very, very difficult to put a price on them. You look at batsmen who scored so many runs or bowlers who've taken so many wickets. When you start to think about the catches in the outfield that boy's held, that's terrific work.
And he does the right thing, just giving Stewart the strike, which is what Samuel should have been doing until he would have gotten a little more comfortable, gotten accustomed to the pace of the wicket. And of course, this is a twilight period where the artificial light comes in to replace the normal natural light. So it's always a difficult period, and I thought he should have held back on that shot. Here he is now to Stewart, and you can see Stewart is looking to set up shop for quite a while. He's going to come back to a measured shot there from Nevin Stewart. Didn't try to hit it too hard. He knew that the fielder was deep on the backward square boundary, and that there was enough time to get to. It's like sending someone away at a very far supermarket so that they don't come back in time to disturb you. Have you ever done that, Roxy?
No, I'm not like that. That's not me. Davis gets ready for his next ball to Stewart. Where is he going to put this one?
So here he is. He bowls to Stewart. Stewart is back and cracks it. Again hitting this one. So this was sending the guy to a grocery that was nearby. He got it very quickly and came back.
Stewart has called Telemark for a couple of runs, and on both occasions Telemark has just shot down there.
This time Stewart hits this, and it's go on. I think it has just landed in a reamer. Nevin Gonzalo Stewart is at it here again, and look at the crowd coming through the doors.
I saw the splash there as it hit the ocean.
And he's exploding at the moment.
Right, very, very quickly, just that point about running between the wickets. Stewart is the senior batsman here. Telemark is a 14-year-old. When they took that first single, Telemark just tucked it off his legs and he wasn't ready to run. Stewart said yes. Telemark just shot off.
Well, I don't think Stewart is very happy with the ball. So they may well. If he's not happy with the ball, he should stop losing them.
I think the umpire's telling him that. He said, look, the only reason we've got a new ball is because you keep hitting them over the wall. He just put his arm on.
I don't think he's very happy with the color of it. He's probably saying, look, this game has just started and this ball is too old, too soft, and also it's faded. Well, when I say faded, it's discolored.
Well, all the new ones are either at the river end or on the ocean side there. That's where most of them have gone. Adrian Alexander flexing his fulsome frame in preparation for...
Well, so speaking about fulsome frame, I want to say good evening to Breaker. He's just sitting on the bench where normally the lady who sells the hot dog comes. He wants to be first in line.
And why is he not in the commentary position next door?
And he's waiting on hot dogs.
He's waiting for me.
Right. Over number 5. Alexander with the number 88 on his back.
47 for 1. It's a nice position, approaching the halfway mark. Sometimes they're way past the halfway mark and they haven't got that yet. So this is a big over here. This could really hurt them.
This time Telemark looking to hit this one away, and it takes the outside edge. He was angling towards the space side area.
Yeah, if he'd connected with that one, it would have gone some way down the road towards Speyside. There's some lovely villages on the way from Roxborough to Speyside. We took the drive the other day and we saw them. We went to Louis d'Or, like Delaford. Nice places up there. Lucky to be here up in the east. So many things were previously held down at the other end of the island. It's nice to be up here. 48 for 1.
This time short hit says that's a mighty hit. It's coming. It's gonna hit us. No, it just lands to the left of us, and the great Gonzalo is at it again.
Yeah, you know, once he gets going, very, very difficult to stop. He's already up to 42, Navin Stewart. We're not at the halfway mark yet. He didn't like the ball, but that hasn't made any difference, has it?
Well, he's actually hitting it where they can actually find it back. Alexander is into him, and with all the experience in the world, drives it away. So you can see it's a one-man show. This time short, not getting handle of this one, and that is one more. The score 55. Gonzalo is at it again.
2 balls left in the over. Josh Telemark it is who prepares to face Alexander, and having been at the other end, you know, he'll see there's nothing to fear here. There's no turn really. This is just slow off spin, if you like. Not going to trouble you.
So Telemark not getting across. He gets across after the ball passes in the approved manner.
He probably thought that he fancied his chances there and just missed out.
So yes, Telemark again looking to play it away. The third man short is not happy. And that's the strategic timeout. 55 for 5 after 5. From my limited knowledge of mathematics, that tells me it's 11 runs and over. And we take a break. We're going to be right back. So we're back here, 55 for 1, and joining me in the commentary position is Visham Lalman. Good evening, Visham.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mamchan. Good evening to everyone looking on Cricket 360 and Mark TV Live here tonight. At the moment, we are witnessing the Eliminator and the Chief Secretary Bago T10 Blast and Gonzalo. Nathan Stewart, he seems to be in full effect here tonight. At the moment, the fans on the Cricket 360 Live, they are engaging in a vote on which team will win tonight. It seems as though Rainforest Rangers, they are at 52% and Little Tobago Islanders at 48%.
It's a delivery that struck away. Nevin Stewart again. That's 6 more out of here and down to Arima. That's 6 more. The score is 61 for the loss of 1.
Well, you can't afford to be bowling to Nevin Stewart at that short in this sort of form. And that one just sat up and it was there for him to hit. He took full advantage of it.
Well, he's on 49. He's 1 short of his 3rd half century. This tournament has belonged to him so far, and he would want to give that big effort tonight to get his team into the finals. Shot gets a full toss. It's in the air and it's out of here. There goes the splash, and Gonzalo has reached the ocean.
Yes, a
That's a half century. He's complaining. He's complaining to the square leg umpire about the height. And did the umpire signal a free hit? No. David Stewart continues to inquire, to have a polite inquiry, and nope, it's going to stay at 67 for 1 with no free hit. This time the cracked away, and he's out caught, is he? Yes, he's out caught. A tumbling catch there at a point. Adams takes the catch. Nevin Stewart goes for 55, and what an innings from Stewart.
Yes, a magnificent knock from him, and he'll be a bit disappointed that he couldn't bat till the end. But what a knock, Nevin Gonzalo Stewart. And of course, 288 runs thus far going into the finals.
288 runs. Well, he will hope that he gets into the finals now. Well, he is making a change in the batting order. He has sent Kent back, the 13-year-old, and he's asking for someone else to come in. Let's see if it's Ned. So Stewart leaving in over number 6. That is your good friend Yatali, the manager of the Rainforest Rangers.
Yes, I think he's
and he's still complaining. He's saying that should have been a free hit because the previous delivery was over the line of the waist, and it was full.
Nevin Stewart wasn't happy at all with that decision as well.
Just as I thought, the experience of Nevin Stewart, he decided to dismantle the order, and now with young Telemark, you don't want little young Kent in there with him at the moment. They batted well last night, but they were actually batting under not much pressure. So there is a change, and he has decided now to get Daniel in there. Alden Daniel, is it?
Addison
Daniel in there with the score 67 for 2.
Well, now this is an opportunity for the youngsters here to really stand up and make a point.
Leg spinner Daniel tries, so that's one more.
They are in a very good position here, the Rainforest Rangers. The only thing that they didn't want was losing Nevin Stewart, and that's what's happened here. But I think Addison Daniel, he's a senior man in the Rainforest Rangers team. He'll need to stand up here with Josh Telemark and guide him as well.
Sammy's back and cuts nicely down to deepish third man. He gets 1.
He seems to like that cut shot, Mr. Mamchan, is Josh Telemark.
I think what you're seeing here is what Stewart would have done with that 55 out of the 69, he's actually given them a platform to work with.
Yeah.
And if they can get up from this position to 100, and you know, you don't take mighty hitting to get up. I thought that on that occasion the bowler was a bit lucky, the umpire not signaling wide. So 69 for a loss of 3, and that's the end of over number 6. From this position, I think they could easily get to 100.
Well, a fan asked me earlier, what do I think will be a score that the Rainforest Rangers will get? I said 97, so it's yet to be seen. But normally a team will look to knock the ball around in the first 5 or so of a T10 game and look to target the bowlers at the back end. But this is opposite to what the Rainforest Rangers did on this occasion. Nathan Stewart giving them the platform, as you mentioned, getting the bulk of the runs at the start, and now they have that luxury of knocking around the ball and just taking the score up.
It's going to be Alexander, who was roughly treated by Stewart. Well, everyone was roughly treated by Stewart. So they'll require 31 from 4 to get to 100. I think they'll be even at 41 if they can get to 110. Alexander to Telemark, and he's forward. That's a good line. Telemark would have been better served playing a little later, because there's a massive gap between square leg and the man at a short fine leg. Stands outside the off stump, and again for the umpteenth time he tries to cut and misses.
Yes, he'll be better off looking to get that front foot across the off stump and driving through the offside rather than cutting those deliveries.
Seems to prefer the cut shot. Again, he cuts a delivery that's too close to him, and he's off and running. And in fact, it's a direct hit, an appeal, not out, says the umpire. And the little Tobago Islanders are appealing vociferously. The umpire is unmoved. Mr. Breaker is still waiting for his hot dogs, isn't he?
I thought he was waiting on good old Shelly Rooks, but Shelly Rooks seems to
have ditched him tonight.
Yes.
For better company, you think?
Yes, of course. Stacey Ann King, former West Indies women's player, not former.
Stacey Ann King, you would well remember, is a Cricket 360 commentator as well. She's on loan tonight.
Yes.
Alexander bowls, and it's just powerfully driven through the offside. There's a misfield, but they can't take advantage of it. So all of a sudden Stewart is out, and you can see the intensity has dropped.
Yes, well, that what normally happens to the Rainforest Rangers when Stewart departs. But it's all smart cricket that's needed from here, from these batsmen of the Rainforest Rangers. Don't need to try too much here now.
Telemark tries, he opens the face a bit to get it away from backward point. Backward point dives and still can't retrieve the ball. He then gets up and gets it. So in the interim they get 2. Reminded me so much of you guys today at the RL waterfall. Michael Rupois, on many occasions he tried to dive.
I want to assure the people of Tobago that there were no topographical adjustments done at the Argyle waterfall.
So Breaker will be happy with that. 2 steps down the wicket, and he gets a single. And Lizama misfields. He's not the best in the outfield, young Lizama. And they're going to get another. So it's a third. They're going to come back, I think, for 4. So they've run 4. So it's all happening here now.
Well, I can see Addison Daniel and Josh Telemark saying thank you for those overthrows. So a good position to be in here is the Rainforest Rangers. 77 for 3 after 7, scoring at 11s. So they are being able to maintain the scoring rate despite losing Nathan Stewart. Well, just some assistance being offered to the batsman there from the substitute of the Rainforest Rangers team. And now they are back up and ready to roll here as Ramsey is going to continue. He's conceded 14 runs in the first over due to an onslaught from Nathan Stewart, but he was able to pick up the wicket of him as well.
This time it's swung away by Daniel, and a nice bounce down at deep mid wicket, single.
Of course, Daniel must have been sent in with that freedom and the luxury to play the big shots, while Telemark could just work around the ball in the gaps and give him the strike.
This time, well, I can't understand that shot. That was a drive pull.
Yes, he was actually, his feet was pointing through covers and he was looking to take it on the onside.
He started the drive and then he started the pull.
Yes.
I can't understand what went through his mind there. So I've seen it all in cricket now. I've seen a drive pull. It's a good night to my very dear friend from the Tobago News, Clayton Clark. It's good to see that he is sticking to all COVID-19 protocols. He's wearing a mask. I think he's the only one on the ground who is wearing a mask. This time it's worked away by Telemark down to the pointer on the boundary. There's a misfield. You could have seen the fielder there looking up to see the action, whether the batsman was coming back, rather than focusing on collecting the ball first.
Yeah.
Ramsey bowls, and this delivery is played straight down the ground. So one more. So they're not landing the big boundaries, but they're keeping the scoreboard ticking. And this is the luxury of having a man butcher the bowling at the top of the order.
Yes, definitely, and it's good to see. I'm sure he will be proud of these two batsmen here in the middle now. And
it's a short, and he's bowled him. A short delivery there. His eyes lit up like ginger seeing fresh soil, and he was looking to hit that somewhere in the vicinity of the spanking new fire service station here, and all he heard was the sound of treaded timber and the lights that signal that he should be on his way. That's it. 80 for 4. We're in over number 8.
well, welcome back, and seems to be the new bowler for the Little Tobago Islanders. Well, Ramsey actually is going to continue. One ball in the 8th over remaining.
I want to say good night to a friend of mine, and that's a Vishma Bim Singh. Good old Vishma Bim Singh out there in the US. Great cricket. I don't want to call her a cricket fan. She's a former journalist.
Yeah.
Who analyzes the game well. She does well. The only thing that she does wrong is to support Australia. But good night to Vishma Bim Singh. The score is 80 for 4. There are a number of them who supports Australia. I'm going to call them out one by one tonight. Ronnie Bikram Das is in that lineup. 80 for 4. This is over number 8.
Yes, scoring at 10.13 at the moment. So they are maintaining that run rate just above 10, which is good for the Rainforest Rangers. I think if you said 85 at the start, Mr. Mamchan, I think if they can get to the 100, they will be really happy and they will think that they have a solid chance of getting into tomorrow's final.
Well, so Daniel is in there with James, Orlando James. James looking to try, but again, not getting close to that one. And again, this is the better shot, the shot that you should have played in the first place.
Well, I was just about to say, why play such shot? You know, at the crease, Addison Daniel is there. He's had a couple sighters already. Just turn it around and give him the strike. There's a lot of gaps on the field at the moment, and you can't utilize.
Well, I wonder how our poll is going. If Michael Rupak and his assistants there.
Rainforest Rangers 59%, going up by 3%, and Little Tobago Islanders 41.
This delivery is hoiked away. One more.
So if they go out and run a ball,
are you feeling a drizzle?
A very slight drizzle, I must say. But yes, if they go out and run a ball, it'll just take them up to 92. So they don't need to do much at this stage. The Rainforest Rangers. They have the luxury as well of having 6 wickets in hand here now.
So the rain is coming down here now at the moment. That'll put a serious damper on proceedings. This time it's a good delivery pitch right up, but equally well dealt with down the ground.
Well, the Rainforest Rangers fans would certainly not want the rain to be coming down at this point and having any effect on this game negatively, because the Little Tobago Islanders, their net run rate is 0.013, and the Rainforest Rangers, they are negative 0.041. But of course as well, the Islanders, they are second on the table. The Rangers, they are third with 7 points, and the Islanders at 10 points. So Orlando James, he is going to be facing up now to Stewart. Short, and he's bowled him. A poor shot there from Orlando James, going across the line to a straight delivery on the line of the stumps. And again, the Rainforest Rangers batters, they are not playing smartly here at all. Addison Daniel, he's at the crease there. He's stranded on the non-striker's end. 2 more balls in the penultimate over of this innings to go, and they wouldn't have wanted a wicket to be lost here, the Rainforest Rangers. Say goodnight to Mr. Ryan Baksh out there in Bish. It's be Ansel Ned coming out there to join Addison Daniel at the crease. And you can see the rains here just coming down slightly. A slight drizzle here at the Cyd Gray Sporting Complex in Roxborough, Tobago. Roxborough, a beautiful place. We continue to say it every night here at the Chief Secretary Bago T10 Blast. Wonderful sceneries, of course. The rainforest to the back of us here. We took a trip up to the rainforest a couple of days ago. The Cricket 360 team, and it was a wonderful sight indeed. Here's Stewart. Oh, and that one's flicked away by Ned, but he'll pick up a single here. Dealing in singles, but of course Addison Daniel, he's on strike for the final delivery of the second to last over. So a very good over here by Joshua Stewart, I must say. This is proving to be a vital over. From the start that the Rainforest Rangers had, you wouldn't have thought that they would have been in this position, 83 for 4. This one is driven away through the offside, back out of point. And they are looking for 2 here. He's running hard here, Addison Daniel. He got it quite easily in the end. So 2 runs to the Rainforest Rangers. 86 for 5 after 9. Adrian Alexander taking up the ball there from the river end. As you can see, the roller there that they use at the Cyd Gray Sporting Complex to maintain the pitch and the outfield.
Oh, that's a bad delivery, and it should have been dealt with by Ned. Although it's called a wide, I think that should have been in the air still.
There's no fine leg. There's just that lone, a deep backward square leg on the boundary. That should have been put away by Ansel Ned.
Ball tossed up nicely, and Ned playing before the ball even came to him. But you can't fault him. It's the final over. He's trying to maximize. I think that they fell away badly here. After that start that Nathan Short had given them, they should have at least gotten up to 110. Right now they're struggling to get up to 100.
Yes, definitely. They are not helping the cause. And you know that you are not able to bludgeon the ball to the boundary on this track, and of course you are a new batsman at the crease. You would be better off, again we continue to say you would be better off playing the shots on the ground into the gaps, but they are not doing that. Run rate goes down to under 10 now, 9.49 at the moment. If they may be able to just get up to 95, I think that'll be a bonus for them at this stage.
Five deliveries left. Oh, this is a delivery outside the off. Pretty innocuous delivery. That should have been dealt with. Come on.
Well, he was in no position to play the shot that he wanted to play, Lamont.
Wasting deliveries here, Lamont. Shot might have been better still sending Kent.
Much proper player than Lamont, for sure.
Again, he misses. What is Lamont doing here?
Very disappointing finish here by the Rainforest Rangers thus far. Captain won't be happy at all.
Sam is outside the off, so he cuts it a point and they get one. So Daniel is going to have the strike now. It's 88. Just the one delivery to go?
Yes, well, I think he will be looking to go for the maximum here, Mr. Mamchan. Give them a free hit here for Addison Daniel. He has been starved of the strike on many occasions as well since coming to the crease.
It's a quicker delivery, punched away, runs here for him. True covers, it should go very close to the boundary. They should come back for two, and I think Lamont will struggle to get back for three. And yes, so that's two, and the score 90 for 6. The final score here for the Rainforest Rangers, batting first against the Little Tobago Islanders, and the Little Tobago Islanders would require 91 when play resumes to book a place in the finals. A final comment from you before we take a short break.
Yes, well, the Rainforest Rangers, they really lost it in the back end of this game, and of course what made it good for the Little Tobago Islanders that they were able to pick up wickets at crucial stages, and kudos to them. What an interesting finish we will be able to witness in the next innings.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will have the innings of the Little Tobago Islanders.
Tobago.
Well, welcome back, and we are all set for the second innings as Nathan Stewart, he runs in for the first delivery for the Rainforest Rangers. That one is guided down there to backward point there by Ronaldo Lezama, and he picks up 2. So they are off the mark here. They are off and running, the little Tobago Islanders. They are looking to get 91 for victory and to get a place in the final tomorrow against the Boca Reef Divers, who's already in the finals. Of course, Rainforest Rangers in taking first strike. They only managed to get 91 for 6. And even Stewart, he led that with 55. Quick fire 55, getting that in the first 5 overs for the Rainforest Rangers.
Stewart. It's a good delivery. That was quick. That gave him a bit of a shave there as it goes through to the keeper. So it's obvious he has learned from last night as well. Well, he's following what he did last night. Last night he was really good with the ball as he had them jumping. Both Lezama brothers, he had them on the back foot, and they really couldn't do much with him. Leron did hit him for a 6, but it was just parried by the fielder who was set up to take the catch. Here's Stewart. That's a good delivery. A delivery that seemed away a bit from the right hander and through to the wicketkeeper.
Well, there was no foot movement on that occasion from Ronaldo Lezama, so he wasn't able to cover the line of delivery and get behind it. But Nathan Stewart, yes, he's going to attack these 2 batsmen here now with the short delivery, because Ronaldo Lezama in particular, he had problems with the short delivery that's on his body, and that's by Nathan Stewart, of course, so he's going to target him with that.
Again, this time he's driving. No footworks. He's one of those stand and deliver batsmen. We saw him score a rapid 33 last night. Just standing and delivering. And now he's stretching down the track. Stewart is going to test him. And Stewart would have noticed that the last 2 deliveries were pitched up. He would have noticed that he's not moving that front leg. And he's getting the ball to shape away a bit. And Ansel Ned is at first slip waiting for the edge. Yeah, Stewart, this time he hits him. Last night he did hit him on an occasion as well, and tonight again hitting him. So this is rapid bowling here by good old Gonzalo.
Well, he hit Leron last night, this time hitting Ronaldo, but that ball pitched on an area where you would expect it to lift from the track, but the slow nature of the pitch only allowed the ball to hit the mid-rib area of Ronaldo Lezama.
Well, Lezama was also struck last night, Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And he continues to hold the wood over him, so to speak. There's a change in the field. He strengthens the offside. So he's expecting to pitch this one up. He calls the mid-wicket into the 30-yard circle. So obviously he's going to go full up to him on the offside and allow him to drive. Stewart wants a good start here. This time it's short, had him ducking, and the keeper sprawling on the ground. Nathan Stewart is on fire with the ball here as well. Favorite son of Roxborough. And it's the end of the over, 2 without loss. So he has taken 2 overs out. He has taken an over out of the equation. He has given just two runs.
Pace in your waist, as they normally say here in the Caribbean, Mr. Mamchan.
Yes, so he put an extra fielder in the cover region. He called a square leg into the square leg on the boundary, came into the 30-yard circle, so the batsman would have expected him to pitch that one up. He didn't. He shortened on him and surprised him all ends up.
Yes. Good bowling from the captain. He's setting the tone, setting the example here for for the other bowlers in the lineup of the Rainforest Rangers. It's going to be Ansel Ned from the far end, the river end here at the Cyd Gray Sporting Complex.
So the 2 most experienced bowlers bowling in the power play, and this is what you want. Here's Ned Lezama, and this time he's looking to sweep. Misses. Leron Lezama has had a good series so far.
Yes, definitely. He had a good start to the tournament, a quick fire 50, and 30 in that as well in the tournament thus far. Well, he hasn't, in the last couple of games, he hasn't been as effective, but yesterday he saw the game home for the team, so that'll give him good confidence going into this game as well.
He's looking to play the sweep shot. He gets it fine, and I think one is all they will get. Samuel made a meal of that. He kept running as if he was, in fact, was it Stewart? Nathan Stewart just lumbered after that. That was surprising. One wonders if he's carrying a niggle. That's not the Nathan Stewart we know, but they can't get the second.
It's adjusting his feel here, Nathan Stewart, because the right-hander is on strike now. He's putting the backward square leg fielder on the circle and moving the short fine leg fielder around. And now he's coming out of the slip position and going into that middle wicket position.
And that's a lovely shot. It eludes the fielder. He's able to pick it up, and they come back for two. So overpitched on that occasion.
That was a good shot from Ronaldo Lezama. Seeing that the mid-off fielder, he was in the circle, looking to take net down the ground. It was in the arc as well. But again, the heavy nature of the outfield not allowing the ball to go into the boundary.
I thought they should have gotten two.
Yeah.
Sammy sits in the air. He could be out caught, and it goes for 6. A good shot there by Leron Lizama. In fact, umpire signals 4. Was the fielder inside? Well, 6 is it? Well, the scorers have 6. I saw 4 from the umpire. So, well. It's 10 without loss, is it? Yes.
Well, that's a short man down there, Davrell McPherson. And had he been a bit taller, he may have had a better chance there, Mr. Mamchan.
This time he tugs this away, gets one. A misfield. Davrell McPherson there. So Ned going for a bit of tap in this over. 9 so far.
Ansel Ned, one of the key bowlers for the Rainforest Rangers thus far. 2 hat-trick opportunities in the tournament.
Sammy forces. That's a good shot by Lezama. Off the back foot, he cracks it away for 4. Given the room to play the shot, and he answered in the affirmative. So that's for 15 without loss. So Ned going for 13 in that one.
Yeah, well, some welcome runs in this over for the Little Tobago Islanders after a brilliant first over by Nathan Stewart. And Ronaldo Lezama continuing his good form from last night. 34 last night, now 8 already. And a boundary in that. And he could have had another boundary in that over as well. Hitting one down the ground. And not being able to get it to the boundary because of the salinity of the outfield. But Leron Lezama, he's going to be on strike now. He is a key man here for them if they are to win this game now. He will be the one that they need to stand up and bat through the innings, much like last night. He had 21 not out. But 91 on this track, we were saying 100 would be a good target, but I think 90, anything over 90 is a good total on this track.
Well, we wait to see. Short is out of the attack. He has to keep one back. In fact, he's going to continue. So Short has now taken the ball and he's going to continue. So he's had a change of mind. I think he knows that if these two stay, especially Leron Lezama, he could be in some problems. So he's playing all his trump at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. It's a good delivery, a slower one at that.
Well, what I think Nathan Stewart is doing here, Mr. Mamcha, is much like his batting in the first innings. He's going all out at the start of the innings to have maximum benefits of from whatever he's doing. Here he's giving it all out in his bowling so that his team could have a good start. In his batting he did the same thing. So he's doing a really good job here, Nathan Stewart. He knows what he's doing.
It's a quick delivery and it's wide.
An excellent take by the wicketkeeper Lamont as well, diving to his left. And his wicketkeeping has been really good throughout the tournament as well.
Oh, that's a good delivery. It keeps low. Through the wicket keeper, Lamont, who's having a horrid night. And they get a bye. Well. It kept low. It was a quick delivery, though. And luckily for Lizama, it missed the stumps.
It's not a track that the keepers would fancy, because there's always that uneven bounce. But you gotta get accustomed with that these days. Strengthening the offside field here now. Ansel Ned comes into the slip field position.
So it's pushed away just back of a line. So Stewart keeps keeping it tight here at the moment. He's conceded just 4 runs in his second over?
Yeah.
So it's in his second over, none for 4.
Well, what he's doing well is setting his field and bowling to it. And
with that experience that he has, he's maximizing and he's calling on every ounce of his experience here at the moment.
His team really needs it, so he needs to do that.
So they're really going to get a single. Direct hit. There's a lot of people a run out. Not out, says the umpire. In fact, they're going to get an extra run as well. So it's all happening out there. 2 runs. And Islanders are now 18 without loss at the end of the... In fact, it's still 2 deliveries to go.
Well, they were very confident there when they were shouting for the run out there. So it might have been a very close call for Ronaldo Lezama. But smart cricket by the Little Tobago Islanders, not taking anything away from them, just dropping and running and putting pressure on the fielders, hence allowing that misfield from the Rainforest Rangers team. Shouldn't say it's a misfield, but
well, it was a direct hit.
Yeah.
No, when you have direct hits, this time did he hedge that? Did he get any count to that? Again, not taken by Lamont. Short has actually waken up this pitch
throughout the tournament.
Yes.
Him along with Joshua James as well from the Fort King George Gunners.
I think Stewart has been a couple yards faster than James.
Most definitely.
This time Lizama gets inside his wicket and clips it around the corner. Just again, we're feeling a little drizzle coming down. At the end of over number 3, the score is 20. So they require 72 in 7. So they're still on course here. Stewart will be disappointed that he didn't get a wicket. So we're back. A fire officer from just the adjoining building comes in just to have a look, just to ensure that everything is A-OK here on the inside. Where's your friend, good old Shelley Brooks?
Shelley Brooks, he's still across there and commentating alongside Stacey Ann King.
Seems to be enjoying his stint with Miss King in the commentary booth.
Seems to have lost his partner Breaker tonight as well.
Well, he did send away Breaker.
Was it good old Shelley causing Breaker to leave?
we'll investigate that as we go forward. This time there's a lot of people like before. Not out says the umpire. Struck outside the line.
Yes, of course. And also angling down the leg side as well. You can see where Lezama's foot ended up. And the wicketkeeper as well. His movement was he was heading down the leg side as well. So that tells you that was going down the leg side.
Again, he's looking to sweep, going down the leg side, starting the appeal and then pulling out. So Lezama is favoring that sweep shot. Now, there's a fielder at square leg. He knows that if he gets it past him, the fielder at a wide-ish long one will have a tremendous amount of acreage to cover. So that is why he's eyeing that spot.
It's a good play by Nevins, the captain, allowing Leon Lezama that luxury to play onto the onside against the turn, packing the offside as well. Now they have sent back Kevin Samuel on the deep backward square leg fence.
And he pulls it away right where Samuels wants. He's going to get only one. The rain seems to have broken again. And this time it is coming down a lot harder.
Well, we are into the second innings, and if the rains are to come tonight now and end this game at this point in time, the Rainforest Rangers, they are in a good position because the Little Tobago Islanders, they are below the required run rate at this time. The required run rate 10.17. Rain is coming down a bit heavily here now at the Cyd Gray Sporting Complex. We got some rain earlier in the first innings. Just a slight drizzle, but now it's getting a bit heavy. I'm not sure if the umpires will look to get the covers out there very soon. But at this stage, cricket is continuing. A loud appeal there from Ansel Ned. Will it be given? Yes, he's given. He's gone, Ronaldo Lezama. That's a big blow here now for the Rainforest Rangers. So keeping down the runs on one end and being able to get a wicket on the other. So Ansel Ned picking up a key wicket for the Rainforest Rangers. 22 for 1, the Little Tobago Islanders. Ronaldo Lezama, he has to depart for 8. Say good evening to Shakil Labaril John up there on the scaffolding. Want to hope that he has his umbrella intact tonight. Good evening to Michael Rupwa and Ronnie Bikram Das, the technical crew. Technical gurus at Cricket 360. Ramsey's walking out there in the middle. A very tricky position here for the Little Tobago Islanders now that they have lost a wicket and they are below the required run rate as well.
So it's 22 for 1. Right, so Ronaldo goes. Ramsey's in now with Leron Lezama. So it's played down the ground.
Arena's just eased up slightly here now.
Delivery just clipping the pad, so much better over this one from Ned.
Huh? As you can see, a slight drizzle there now, seeing that the rain has eased up.
Yep.
Shaki
The
Labarre.
rain clearly in the floodlights.
Yep.
They're continuing to play.
Well, the ball will tend to skid on now with the added moisture on the surface. But that's one advantage to the fielding team. A disadvantage, however, is the moisture out there on the outfield, and the ball on the outfield as well. Getting that moisture on the ball, it'll be hard for the spinners to grip as well. Little Big Islanders 23 for 1 after 4. We are into the 5th over now. Requiring some 71 runs. Sorry, not 71. 69 runs. 69 runs, sorry. Leron Lezama, the captain, he's on 12. He's still there. Ramsey just coming to the crease in the last over. Only on 1. He's been able to get off the mark. He's going to be facing first ball of the 5th over.
Jason. 5 overs constitute a match. So it's checked all the way over. Yeah. Orlando James.
So Orlando James, he's going to be taking up the attack from the Rainforest end here for the Rainforest Rangers. A very capable all-rounder for the Rainforest Rangers. He's been good with the ball. A couple of wickets in the tournament thus far. He hasn't had the best tournaments with the bat for them. This one is cracked away on the offside, and a deep extra cover field having to do some work, and a double obtained here by Little Tobago Islanders. Looking for 3 now, and they will get it quite easily. Misfield there backing up was Josh Telemack. So 3 to Ramsey, and 3 to the total of the Little Tobago Islanders, 26 for 1. And that just allows Leron Lezama to take a strike. Sending back the mid-wicket fielder on the boundary now is Nathan Stewart. He's urging on his troops here tonight, making sure everything is in place and each fielder is on their P's and their Q's. This one is taken down the ground, is Orlando James by Leron Lezama. Down to long off. Addison Daniel cleans up, and they'll pick up a single, Little Tobago Islanders. So it will take some doing here now for the Little Tobago Islanders to get over the line. They have 9 wickets now. This one is short and pulled away by Ramsey, but there's a man down there in front of backward square, and only able to get 1. Kevin Samuel down there at forward square leg. So they will need a lot more than just singles at the moment. That won't help the cause. This one is back to the bowler, and no run. So a dot ball in the situation. A very vital delivery. Good old plats on the head of Orlando James. Lynn on his back. Seems to be a very famous hairstyle here in Tobago. He's down the track here, Leron Lezama, and he may only able to get 1. Yes. The fielding has been up to par today, I can tell you that. We saw a brilliant catch at the start of the innings to get rid of a Davrell McPherson from the Rainforest Rangers team. Saw some good fielding from Simmons Peters as well. And now it's the turn of the Rainforest Rangers. They are doing good. Short and into the air here now. Will it be out? Lamont, as we were speaking about good fielding from the Rainforest Rangers, he spilled one here tonight. How big of a loss will this be for the Rainforest Rangers? There was a fielder converging, and Lamont, he was heading to the ball as well. And in the end, they both collided, and Lamont, he, in the end, dropping that catch. I don't think there was any calling there between both the wicketkeeper and the fielder. And at the end of 5 overs, the score at the moment, Little Tobago Islanders, they are 31 for 1, chasing 92 for victory. Well, welcome back, and we are ready to restart proceedings after the strategic timeout. The Little Tobago Islanders fans would hope that it would benefit them, while the Rainforest Rangers fans would think otherwise. But here is, not too sure who's the bowler at the moment. Well, Shafiq Shepherd, he's going to be taking up the attack from the river end. On a shot and pulled away by Liron Lezama. Will that go into the boundary? No, there's protection down there. So, one to him, one to the total. And I'm now being joined by Mr. Shelley Rooks. Good night, Mr. Rooks.
And a very good night to you, and a very good night to everyone at home. You know that I love these kind of situations. This is absolutely perfect for a big finish, one way or the other. So I love this kind of setup, because if you look at the scoreboard, 32 for 1 at the halfway point, it's not looking too good for the Islanders. So they're going to have to really push things along And I think that's going to play into the hands of the Rangers. Catches are going to be really important here. Keeping runs down, absolutely vital. Don't give up the boundary. Don't give up the maximum.
Well, we already saw one drop catch from Lamont, the wicketkeeper. Here is Shepherd. Short again, and down the leg side, and a wide signal by the umpire. And this is another thing that you don't want as well. Extras.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. He's going to mark out his run-up again, but I'm not sure whether it had a great deal to do with the run-up or just getting the line wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's Shepherd. I hope that wasn't his run-up that caused him to fall. This one's pulled away again by Ramsey. And only a single, so dealing in singles with the Tobago Islanders, that won't help the cause, Mr. Rooks.
Absolutely. I like that. You're right on top of this. You know, give them that. You know, if you want to try and hit me over the wall, that's one thing. But if you just want to take a single, I'm okay with that. Because I'm going to get a couple of dot balls as well. Yep. And this is when we come back to no extras. Absolute criminal to give them any extras. And stop things in the field. You want your fielders really keeping it tight.
So, Shepherd. Short again, and he's not able to get under that. Leron Lizama only able scoot it away down to deep mid wicket for one.
That was one of the best directed short balls. It was onto him quick, didn't give him a chance to free his hands and put it up there. He had to pull that down. One run. Good ball.
Yes, Keating on his body, giving it any room. So we've seen a consistent ploy here from the Reinforced Rangers to the Little Tobago Islanders batsmen, which continued of course from last night into today. That's the short deliveries on the body. So
big
27 deliveries.
Sorry, big over, really big over. Keep them quiet here. And real pressure.
Some slight field changes to the field here now, trying to get things right before bowling this delivery. One shot again, flicked away onto the onside. That will run into the widest fine leg boundary for four. So a good shot here by Ramsey. That is something that you wouldn't want in this situation here if you are a Reinforced Rangers player.
Got the line wrong. We were talking about that. He got one wrong earlier on, and he gets it wrong there. He puts it on the pads where it's nice, you know, to get rid of. Puts it away nicely. Good shot in the end.
Yes, well, I think the batsmen were expecting that delivery on that occasion because he was consistently short. It was just up to him to miss his line, and Ramsey being able to put it away in the end. 39 for one, Little Tobago Islanders. Down the leg side again, pulled away. There's protection down there now. A chance for a second. There was a misfield there, and getting it quite easily. We are speaking about your fielding needs to be good here in this sort of situation, and that's something you wouldn't want.
Yeah, so we go back to what we said right at the beginning of the over. You don't want to be bowling wides. You don't want to be giving away things in the field. But one thing we didn't mention is your bowlers have also got to get it in the right position. Yeah. And unfortunately for Shepherd, he's not doing that right now.
Misfields and extras, a cardinal sin in these sort of situations. Here's Shepherd. Full delivery down the leg side again. Pulled away. And a misfield allows it to go into the boundary. So a misfield here and a boundary. 45 for one now, Little Tobago Islanders. If you are a Reinforced Ranger supporter, you won't be happy at all with what's going on out there in the middle at this stage.
No, because the required run rate was around 11 and a half, and you go for 14. Not what you wanted. And there were so many things that went wrong in that over. You know, from bowling, fielding, just not a good over for them, I'm afraid.
Well, it was shaping up to be a very good over at the halfway mark of the over, but these last three deliveries were very poor deliveries from, well, very unhappy to see, but it's a very poor delivery from Shafiq Shepherd.
Yeah, quite often you hear, especially in league cricket,
Yeah.
3-dot balls, and then you hear some of the fielders shouting, "Finish off, finish off." Unfortunately, we at the back end we had the 3 poor ones.
A very good start from the Rainforest Rangers, but they would want to close this game off after having such a good start. They won't want to have it in their hands and then let it go in the back end. At the moment, the Little Tobago Islanders, they are still below the run rate. And a good delivery there from Orlando James to start. That's where you want to be. You don't want to give Leron Lezama, a man of the caliber of him, the opportunity to free his arms. He will take those opportunities because he's been there for a while now. He's opened the button for Little Tobago Islanders, and he has been seeing the ball very nicely.
Yeah, these middle overs can be absolutely pivotal here, and you would hope, if you were a Rangers supporter, that the next 2 are really going to pull it back. There's no doubt the Islanders are going to open up more and more. That they're going to have to. They're chasing, they've got a 47 to get.
One short and pulled away by Lezama, not making the connection as he would like here. Long on fielder comes running in. A chance for run out? No. A very easy double in the end. Looking for 3. And sent back there by Leron Lezama. So they settle for 2. Would you mind getting a double here now as a Rainforest Ranger player?
Yeah, it's not surprising that Stewart is going to be vocal at this point, and he has to. If you're going to lead from the front, you have to keep things under control, and that's a super strong arm. Why would you be throwing way over the keeper's head?
It's into the air again.
Yeah,
A chance
there's a
for
chance.
Quintino, and he's taken.
He's held it.
Nevin Gonzalo, Stewart diving there. A wonderful catch indeed there, Mr. Rocks.
Well, it's like a magnet, isn't it? It's either with the ball, with the bat, and now even in the field. That's talisman. That's what he is, and it could change things here. First of all, we come back to, still early to be talking about dots and wickets, but every time you take a wicket, it's a dot ball. So it removes another ball that they've got a chance to score off. So they could pull it back pretty quickly.
A superstar is that man, Nevin Stewart, and look who he's gotten out. Look who, it's Leron Lezama, the captain of the Little Tobago Islanders. He has to go back to the sheds.
And crucially for the Islanders, Lezama has now gone, and he didn't get away.
Yeah.
He didn't do what Nevin Stewart did and put a big score on the board. He was hoping to bat through 8-10 overs. Right. Same again. Last night we saw the same thing. Adrian Alexander came in. Big expectations for him. He's at the non-strikers end anyway because they crossed. Damon Ramsey is on strike.
Well, it's flicked away by Ramsey. And there's protection on there. Slip in the outfield. Almost allowing that one to go into the boundary. There's a lack of communication in the middle at the moment between the batsmen.
Just one.
Yeah.
So, huge task here now for Adrian Alexander, who's on strike. He hasn't yet featured it with the bat in this tournament, and that's really what that's what he's known for. That's what he was brought in for. He drilled one back to the bowler last night. Let's see what happens tonight here.
And again, it's a full delivery down the ground by Alexander. He may get 2. But the long on fielder Davrell McPherson comes darting in there from the long on boundary.
The Rangers will be perfectly happy with that one. A big hitter, big shot down the ground, 1 run. 43 needed.
43 from 19. So this is a stage now where we start to count down the balls and the runs.
I love that.
Love that. Yeah. The balls and the runs. Here's Ramsey. Short delivery, but keeping a bit low. And a misfield here now
Oops.
in middle wicket.
Just got past him.
And that'll give them 2 runs. You won't want that here now at this stage. You don't want to give away anything. And at the end of 7 overs, a little Tobago Islanders 51 for 2. Requiring 41 from 18 deliveries.
We're going to be joined by Vinud Mamchan momentarily.
And there you can see a worried looking, thanks a lot Sheldon, you can see a worried looking dugout of the little Tobago Islanders. And your good friend Peters is padding up with some enormous pads. It's as broad as Broadway.
Well, this is a big ask now, but they've brought that on themselves. The bowling hasn't been fearsome. They just haven't been able to find the gaps, and really nobody has been able to find the maximums and the boundaries.
You know, we speak about setting tones, and I thought that Nevin Stewart's bowling was fearsome. He set the tone. He bowled 2 very good overs up front, just for 7 runs, and that actually set the tone for this innings. 41 to get of 18 deliveries. It's quite an ask. And Alexander Ramsey's in there at the moment. Ramsey has been in there for a while. He's on the 21. Alexander is on 1. But to get that with the pressure of this being a knockout, it's more than 41. That could equate to 61.
Well, Alexander, I think, is going to find it difficult to get Shepherd away. If Shepherd gets his line right, and I think, who was he bowling to last time? Was he the right-hander, and he kept drifting down the leg side? Maybe this will be better.
Well, I can't understand why he's going around the wicket. In fact, he should stick to over the wicket, look to go back of a length, angle it across the left-hander. So he's over the wicket. Let's see what he does. A slow delivery. Whipped away nicely by Gonzalo, and he fires in the return. Nevin Stewart has been absolutely brilliant in the field as well, and they come through for 1. So Ramsey's there now, and this is where the challenge comes in for Shepherd.
Yeah, he has to get the line right here, and we saw him drift down the leg side on a couple of occasions last time. They picked up runs, I think a 4, possibly a single, maybe 2. He can't afford to go down there, and a wide as well, so he had to bowl again. Can't afford to give that away. They've got the man down at fine leg right away, so at least they've got that. Stuart just having a word with him now. Sure, he said, just get the line right. Ramsey on 21. The score is 52 for 2. They require 40 to win.
Kenny goes down the leg side. Lamont has been very untidy behind the stumps.
Yeah,
he loses
so.
And that's 2 runs. It's a wide, so he has to start over. So it's now 39. It's 13 runs he did an over now.
We've tried for most of the week to be as kind as possible to the players and not get at them, but there are times when you see some things you just have to say that actually was not that good, and he hasn't been that good, I'm afraid.
Shepherd, his line has been wrong in this over. Probably it's going to be better to the left-hander because he has been on the legs of the right-handers. Well, that's a better delivery. Slow delivery. And you look at Alexander, he was way outside the leg stump fanning the bat at that. Important. A dot ball is like a golden dust.
Just reaching for that, wasn't he, Alexander? Huge task here for the Islanders. It's not the first time that we've seen them in this kind of position. They've played a couple where they were just they seem to have their feet stuck in the mud. They just can't get going.
This time it is cut away down to a point on the boundary. That he was very slow to move around. Even Shell would not be happy about this. They come back for 2. I thought the fielder down there was very, very slow to move around, and that they get 2. So the Rainforests haven't been the best in the field, barring Nathan Stewart.
They haven't got the same standout catchers that some of the other teams have. Alexander, that open stance, wide, crouched over his bat now.
Here's Shepard, that's a good delivery, and he plays it back to him again. You have to be sharp. He parries it. So still 2 deliveries to go in the over. It means that 35 required, 14 balls to do it. Where's your money?
I'd like to say Republic Bank, but I think we've heard that one before, so I won't.
Well, you can see a worried looking manager of the team. Very efficient guy. And it's going to be Shepard. Outside the off stump, that's a wide, and it goes further away. And that's one more. Shelley.
He's angry with himself because he realises, but just a little bit too late, what's required of him. Don't bowl wide. So he is angry with himself. But sometimes we're looking at young players here. They're inexperienced players. This is also a little bit of a learning process.
I think Shepard on that occasion actually tried to overcompensate. He has been down the leg side on a number of occasions. This is a delivery that's tugged away again behind square. The fielder attacks it fine and fires in the return. That is what you want.
Oh, nice one.
Lovely bit of work on the outfield there. It's the end of the over. Is it no 1 delivery to go? At the moment, it's 59 for 2, so they require 33 of 13.
That looks so much tidier, didn't it? Nice pick-up, 1 bounce into the wicket-keeper, over the stumps. Nice bit of cricket. Alexander back on strike now. It's now or never, really.
This one is tugged away down to mid-on. Stewart is there. Threatens to throw the stumps down. It's the end of the over. And at the end of it, with 2 to go, 32 required for victory and a place in the finals. More from Sheldon Rooks.
And even the young fielders know what's happening now. You could see them saying, don't throw it. don't throw it.
Well, we're back, and I think Yatali would be very happy. You think, Sheldon? He'll be very, very happy.
Yeah, he might look as though he's chewing his fingers, but to be honest, it's in the bag now. It really is, and they're not going to lose it at this stage.
And how Nathan Short would have liked to have had just that one over up his sleeves now. So we're going to see Daniel, the experienced Daniel, is now going to take up the attack, the leg spinner. Now the important thing here is that he's going to turn the ball into Alexander, unless he's proficient with the googly, like my good friend Breaker. But he's going to bring the ball into the left-hander, who can then go with him. So he has to be very careful.
I really do enjoy these situations. It might be better if it was a little bit closer, but you know what the batters are going to be looking to do. So for me, it's in the hands of the bowling team to keep them in check. You do your things, do the right things, keep them in check, you walk away with this game.
Sam is down the leg side, and he misses a gift there, Sheldon. He misses a gift. You can listen to the home crowd. I think they've come out now, the Roxborough people. supporting the Rainforest Rangers, of which Navin Gonzalo Stewart is from here. He lives 3 minutes away from the ground, and he has promised to bring us dumplings and stew crab tomorrow. He says that's the national dish of Tobago, not dumplings and curry crab. He said it's dumpling and stew crab. His son is pulled away and he's dropped him.
I'll tell you what though, when Navin Stewart doesn't get angry about a dropped chance, you know it was a hard one. Because he wasn't angry there. That was actually quite good to get his hands to it. That was travelling.
That was Ned, the experienced Ned. What he did, as you rightfully said, he got his hands there and he was able to just to take the tempo out of it. 31 is it required now? 14 deliveries in which to get it. In fact, 10 deliveries to get it.
Ned is now brought on to the onside. Stewart marshalling the troops from the deep, and every ball I've noticed that the fielding team are clapping whenever it's a dot.
This time that's out of here. A length delivery, and that's onto the roof. 6 runs. Daniel there just tossing that one up and asking to be hit. And young Ramsey needed no second invitation. You just heard a thud onto the roof of the Cyd Gray Complex, and that's 6 runs. You can see. Do you think it did any damage to the roof?
Hard to tell from here, because I was ducking, not being entirely sure exactly where it was going. I thought, let's be safe, get out of the way of that one. Big hit from
25 to
Damon
get.
Ramsey.
25 of 9. They're still in with a chance. I think they're gonna have a change of ball. Navin Stewart is inquiring. The umpire is having a laugh. Is he a local lad, that umpire?
Yeah, he is. And the thing is, they had a chat about the ball earlier on, and I don't think it went in Stewart's favour. And I don't think this one is going in his favour either. I'm not entirely sure that they've got that much choice. It's not as though you can say, okay, let's pick up balls that were at this stage in some other game that we've had. You've really got to go with what you've got in the box that is as close to what you were playing with as possible. And given that Navin was responsible for losing most of them, I think he's got to take some of the blame.
So Navin is at a wideish lawn, essaying instructions to Daniel. 25 to get, 9 to get it. This game is still open. Let's see. Daniel again. Much better delivery, worked away to mid-wicket, and the fielder on that occasion doing the right thing, going down with a good old long barrier, because 1 is 1.
Yep, just stop that from going anywhere else. All right, they've had 1 maximum. It will require a few more, I think. Knocking at about.
Michael Rupa is on the edge of his seat. Even Mike is feeling the tension. It's as thick as anything you could imagine. You can cut it with a knife. Oh, that's a good delivery, and in fact, it's
gone.
Well. More importantly, though, it's a dot ball.
It was just getting to that point where Alexander maybe didn't have to do that. You'd had a maximum there. Another good strike of the ball could have brought you 1 or 2, maybe even 4. All of a sudden, some of the steam taken out of it. So a charge there.
Adams goes in now, and let's see if he can continue the work. Ramsey's on 29. Let's bring you up to date with what's required. 24-7, and that dismissal, and more importantly, the dot ball has pushed it more into the side, into the corner of the rainforest.
Andy Davis now with the task of trying to take something off this last delivery from Daniel. There's a quick look round. Damian Ramsey is at the non-striker's end.
So it's going to be Davis. Off the back foot, cracked away, down to cover. Holding on to the ball on that occasion, there was not and the over comes to an end. So 23 to get in 1. And you'll fancy the chances of the Rainforest Rangers.
Yeah, I do. And maybe from 3 overs out, 4 overs out, is already thinking that they just didn't have the momentum. They were going to have to start from very, very flat to pick things up. You really want to have, you know, that kind of trajectory, but they hadn't even taken off yet. They were still on the runway. And, you know, you can't be taking off with 3 overs left to go.
Then you'll have to be a rocket.
Yeah.
You'll have to go directly vertical. Like Visham Nalman thought the plane was, the Caribbean Airlines jet was going to go vertical from Piaco International Airport into Tobago.
It's not fair. It was the boy's first flight, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
You know, you have to be nice.
It was.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, his cousin comes on his first flight as well.
And I thought it was particularly unfair when you asked him if he'd got his duty frees. I thought that was really harsh.
Well, his cousin as well, Mr. Rupwa, was looking to change currency.
Did he get a good rate of exchange on
He
the
got
dollar?
2 to 1. So, 23 to come. Now it's going to be Telemark. Left arm orthodox. A lot of pressure for the little man. So
I travelled
23
up.
required.
Sorry, I travelled up in the car with him earlier on with his dad. I saw them waiting for their drop. I'd seen them waiting for a couple of days, and I thought, let me take them up today. And a nice chat with him. Here he comes for his first ball. Yeah, there you go.
He's out stumped. He's out stumped, and Lamont comes in back in the action. Lamont has redeemed himself here. So he's out stumped. The big man, the Clayton Clark look-alike, walks out.
Yeah, good call. Christian Adams it is who's coming out now, one of the coolest heads, one of the most experienced players on the Islanders team. But here, this calls for some big hitting. So can he add that moniker?
Well,
to the
Christian
list?
comes out. I think he can be a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim. This is an enormous task for him. Carlos Brathwaite type effort needed here. Oh, good old Rooksy. Rooksy's getting red.
I can't see it happening.
And there comes the Trinidad accent.
I don't know about it. I can't see it happening. Not at this stage.
Well,
69 for 4.
so 23 to get off 5. Telemark. Oh, that's a lovely shot indeed. It's going to go down to a wide-ish long off and a good return. Is that even Stu down there? Seems to be good old Stewie.
Kevon Samuel, I think
Kevon
that is,
Samuels, I'm told by Mr. Rooks.
as he picks himself up. I have to credit Vishan with that bit of player spotting.
Did he spot that from the aircraft?
Yeah, he was looking at that one. Great that Telemark got the ball tossed to him for this last over. It'd be good if he can just go for a few. Third ball now.
This time he
Oh,
pulls
that's
this
well.
away, and that's 6 runs. So just to add some spice to the battle, 15 of 3. Can Telemark hold his nerve?
Right, well, here we come with the count again. 15 off 3. Absolutely essential that you don't no ball, wide or give up the maximum. He doesn't.
Peels off the
This
edge.
is it then. They come through for a single.
They get a single, so he just needs to keep his head, keep it calm. At the moment, 14 to get off 2. Our house announcer, Marcus Daniel, has already called the game, he's a brave chap, isn't he?
Well,
he's a brave fellow.
Telemark here, I don't know where Nathan is, but he's probably in the deep somewhere looking for a catch. He just got to make sure that he lands this.
Well, Stewart is a deep mid-wicket. Here he comes in on balls, and I think this one goes down to deep square leg for 1. So 13 to get off 1.
Ouch. That was
Young Telemark holding his nerve in the final over with 23 required. 13, he has gotten 10 of 5 deliveries, and Nathan Stewart is still sending out instructions. The Gonzalo has struck again. Yes, Telemark, he bowls, and this time he's
on the pads.
On the pad. Victory for Nathan Stewart and the Rainforest Rangers. A broad smile. It's as broad as Broadway. And Nathan Stewart, after winning this game, he's smiling. He could probably get a contract with Colgate. And the score at the moment, 79 for 4. They've won. They've won the contest. And they're into the finals. At the draft, you and I, we both raised our eyebrows at the selections. Nathan Stewart was coming in with a youngster. He said at the time, Ian Bishop gave him a break as a youth, and he wanted to do the same. I don't think at that time he thought he could have reached the finals, although I did ask him, and he said, listen to me, the exuberance of youth will take me into the finals.
And so it's turned out. I think he's led from the front, dragged the team into the final, but at each point you've seen 1 or 2 people just begin to look as though they're benefiting from that kind of experience, and certainly from this kind of exposure. All right, tomorrow will be the top team in the competition, and they are not going to be like they were last night, where they were their heads weren't really in it. They will be up for it. However, we were just talking about trajectory, and the trajectory of this team is onward and upward. They are going for it, and maybe now they'll really believe that, hey, we're not just in it for the game. We could win this.
Yes, definitely so. So they won by 12 runs. Nathan Stewart leading away again with 55. He goes into the massive cooler to have something, a cold beverage. Of course, he's distributing water at the moment to the youngsters. Congratulations to Nathan Stewart and the rest of the Rainforest Rangers players. For Nathan Stewart is my man of the match for 55, 2 overs for 7 runs, a brilliant catch and a wonderful effort in the outfield. So that's it from us here. We will stay tuned for further coverage tomorrow. We're here from 5 o'clock with an all-star game, and that will lead us into the finals at 7 o'clock. It's going to be the Rainforest Rangers against the Boca Reef Divers. From all of us on the set here at Roxborough, from it's a good night from Sheldon Rooks, Visham Lalman, Michael Rupra, Ronnie Bikram Das, and of course Shakil the Barrel John, and yours truly, Vinod Mamchan. We want to wish you on behalf of Cricket 360 a very safe night, and of course a COVID-free weekend that's coming up.